And welcome to Capital Talk, a program we hope will have an impact on the future of Kenya. Now, more than ever, I'm Jeff Koinange. Now, if you've been watching Capital Talk all this week, and you know this is the holiest week in the Christian calendar, culminating in Easter, and that's right, Easter Sunday, folks, I tell you, it's been an amazing week on the bench. That's the only way I can describe it, because the guests, the lineup, the folks we've had on the bench, what we call the fearless ones, they speak from the heart without fear or favor. That's right. That's why I call them the radicals. And you've seen a whole host of them, from Njoya to Wamagonda to Jenga. And now, folks, you need to listen to this man's story, because this man's story, you can't make this stuff up. When he was 5 years old, he was diagnosed with polio. And you know what happens when you're out there, out in the villages, if you have polio, it's a curse. Well, his parents didn't discard him. They didn't write him off. In fact, his mother protected him so much. But he didn't go to school until he was 21 years old. Can you imagine? 21, walks into standard 1. That was his scenario. He wanted to learn. He wanted to be the best that he could be. But in that time, he also contemplated suicide. Imagine, he wanted to, because of the polio, because of the ostracization, he thought maybe death was the best thing. He even picked his tree, and he got a rope. And the rest of it, he will tell us. Today, he's the presiding bishop of the Worldwide Gospel Church of Kenya. He's been a bishop for more than 20 years in the evangelical church. Folks, this is what we mean when we talk about the future of Kenya. People who never gave up. Sit back, Bishop Kosgei, as in Jackson Kipkim Boy Kosgei. I was thinking of all those names, I was thinking of all those names.
You don't stop to mess me on this.
I've been doing my research.
Right.
Bishop, good to see you.
Good to see you.
I forgot to mention you're the father of that wonderfully famous, amazing singer, Emeritus Kosgei.
Wow.
She's a great singer.
Wow.
We love her.
God, thank you.
You've done good.
She must be watching.
You've done good.
Thank you, sir.
And nobody ever thought you could produce a normal child, if you will, remember?
Right, that's human enough. Qualified.
Let's go back, man.
Thank you,
Let's go
sir.
back.
Thank you, Jeff.
You're 5 years old. You have polio. And in your time, anyone who has an illness, anyone who has a disability,
there must be a reason.
Oh, correct.
There must be a reason.
Which is what? Evil, curse, whatever.
Absolutely. I was not an exceptional. People had to advance so many theories, Jeff. Some thought maybe this was a judgment because of my future, which the gods might have seen that I was going to be terrible. The others thought, as you said, curse has been coming, and this is one of the manifestations. The other one was maybe just a spell because of bad eye. And this one was mostly held by my mother, my late mother, who thought there was a woman who kept on talking about me, that I was such a handsome boy, according to her.
Yes.
One of the best children. And there was this woman who kept on bypassing our home, and she said, this woman kept on talking of my son in a manner as to spell a bad eye on me.
It's that evil eye.
That evil eye, you know. So I grew up under that kind of foundation. Not until when I was 20, as you've mentioned, is when I asked myself, Jeff, where am I going and what am I here for? We never had any relationship to any big religions. We were purely traditional.
Yeah, but tell me something, Bishop. Before the age of 2021,
right.
Did you wonder the other kids are going to school?
Oh, sure.
People are playing football and stuff, and you're just sitting there.
Oh, sure, remaining in the village and listening to the explanations as people give about me. You hear them talk when they are conscious about my possibility of listening to them, or them talking as they explain as to why such a good young man would have missed his chance to be like other children.
Yeah.
So I grew up with that kind of experience, yes.
You must have been an angry young man.
Oh, sure. Yeah, with myself, with fate.
With the world?
With the world, and whoever is responsible about my fate. Because all the explanations given indicates that somebody is responsible about me. So I was asking, how could they have done that without including me in the discussion?
Yes.
So that I could even defend myself.
Yes.
Why should I? And My mother comforted me, tried to say, "Oh, my son, I love you." But I said, "Yes, Mom, thank you." But now it's time for me to make a choice. Should I live this kind of desperate life, or should I really call it a day? And this is where I thank God for the message of Christianity, which made a difference in my life.
The suicide bit, was that before school?
No, before. Coming to school was just a revolution. It was like a rebirth. It was like my life began afresh, Jeff. Because when I got into contact with the message of Christian faith, it totally revolutionized me. I began to see myself like anybody else, and that disability that I had, discovered that every human being could be disabled one way or another, and that I had lost something definitely, but I had not lost it all. And I discovered that there is still in me what can make me be a person like anybody else.
Yeah.
So I asked myself, Jeff, what do I want to do now with my life? Now that I know I've lost about 20 years and now I'm a human being like anybody else, then I had a desire within me that I want to be useful. First to myself. And from the beginning I knew I'm normal and I'm like any other human being, then I want to be useful to my family. And then I want to be useful to the church, because now this is personal to me because it relates to my faith.
Yeah.
And also I wanted to be useful to my country.
Was it difficult with standard one with what, 5, 6 year olds?
I'm telling you, it was very interesting experience, but purpose within me dictated my tolerance and patience, and also dictated my persistency, that what I'm looking for is greater than the experiences and what I can see.
So when they made fun of you and they teased you, you felt nothing?
Oh, sure. I think also traditionally, people, when they get experience of such people, they tend to fear, and they tend to warn their children, don't mock such people, fear them, and somehow, but I was so friendly that soon everybody forgot that I was a disabled. Even you, we sit with you, some few minutes, you can't remember that I need a wheelchair. You would almost ask me to jump off.
Especially when the bench is smoking.
Oh, sure. So
where does this come from, Bishop? You must tell me, because I guess God picks the strongest of us all to give the most challenges, right? Because you have